Hi, I'm Ryan with Harris-Stolper. Today, you're going to walk away with 3 tips that can save you thousands of dollars with your next enclosed forklift cab purchase. And you'll learn which options can help you best optimize operator productivity. Hey look, artificial intelligence is exciting. I get it. There's awesome technology disruption happening right now in the material handling world. And the appeal of robotic lift trucks sure seems like a silver bullet. After all, increased SKU counts, labor shortages, and that constant push for more and more productivity can be suffocating. However, despite these exciting times, many experts still agree on one thing. Today's autonomous technology is ideally geared for horizontal moves. Stuff like cross-docking, hauling and returning waste bins, or moving goods from receiving to storage staging. So what about non-repetitive vertical lifting tasks involving forklifts? Humans still very recommended. Unfortunately, we humans are fussy, and North American labor isn't cheap. A short time ago, Hyster-Yale's Investor Day presentation highlighted that operators account for 69% of the typical forklift truck cost per hour. That's enormous. Things like fatigue and ergonomics are major contributors. So when operator safety or comfort get neglected, that forklift purchase ends up costing your company a lot more than it should. A simple fix? Enclose your forklift. Think back to grade school for a minute and remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He was onto something. Turns out that once our basic needs are met, things like warmth and safety, humans are a lot more productive. An enclosed forklift cab shields the operator from weather, temperature changes, and safety hazards like falling objects. Which brings us to tip number 1. Know your application. Look, there's really 3 levels of choices if you're considering an enclosure: good, better, and best. As the upfront purchase price increases, so do a cab's capabilities. And over its lifetime, that cost of ownership comes down because of the productivity gains. But it's important to know your application in order to maximize the return on your investment. Let me share a couple of examples to help illustrate. Our friend Mary, she owns a warehouse in Tennessee. It rains more than average there, but the winters are bearable, and more importantly, her forklifts stay indoors 75% of the time. Occasionally, when her forklifts go outdoors to load and unload the flatbed trucks, it rains, and her staff have had minor accidents because they don't like getting wet. Mary could go all out and invest in 4 enclosed steel cabs for her operation, but it's probably overkill in this case. Opting instead for the middle-of-the-road choice, for example, our rain guard with front and rear glass windshield, a solid top, and vinyl roll-up doors, would cost her roughly half the price and still keep her staff dry. Problem solved. Bill, on the other hand, runs a lumber yard in Michigan. His trucks live outdoors. Winters are a lot colder up north, and his state ranks in the top 5 for average annual snowfall. Although his guys dress for the weather, they complain a lot, morale is low, and it's starting to hurt his customer service levels. The enclosed steel cab with heater and defroster fan would be a much better option for him. Bill could easily justify the expense and start to see results immediately. The bottom line here is that choosing the right enclosure will depend a lot on your industry, your geography, but most importantly, your application. Although that enclosed steel cab is a wonderful enhancement, sometimes all your forklift needs is an umbrella, like the rain guard. Tip number 2, replacement parts matter. Hey, forklifts aren't cheap. And beyond that initial purchase price, you worry about maintenance costs, fuel or battery costs, and standard replacement parts like tires and filters. It's no wonder cab replacement parts often get overlooked during a truck purchase evaluation. Like the automotive industry, forklift designs have evolved. They've gone from boxy to curvy. and the glass is no exception. However, forklifts take a beating. They're exposed to harsh environments and even harsher treatments from some operators. That means it's only a matter of time when, not if, those cab parts will need to be replaced. For example, a cracked windshield is a pretty common occurrence, but replacing that curved glass windshield might cost you up to $5,000, depending on the make and model of your truck. That's nearly the cost of replacing an entire cab. Flat glass, on the other hand, doesn't look as sleek or sophisticated, but it's so much more practical. If you can get flat glass in your cab, take it. It's the reason we use flat glass in all of our designs. And it can mean the difference of paying $800 for a windshield replacement versus paying $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000. Another example are the mechanical parts that degrade with regular wear and tear. Things like wipers, wiper motors, latches, and springs. Now, if you lease your trucks, it's less of a concern, but you know sourcing replacement parts for older trucks gets increasingly difficult and expensive over time. A quality cab manufacturer should have an ample inventory of parts to support you long after the factory replaces that truck model with the next generation. There's nothing more frustrating than having to pay hundreds of dollars to replace an entire cab handle when all you really need is a latch or a striker bolt. Tip number 3, consider customization. Years ago, Henry Ford was reported to have made the statement, any customer can have a car painted any color he wants, so long as it's black. Now, some argue it was taken out of context, but the principle still applies. Like the auto industry, forklifts are built on a production line. That means optional extras have to get standardized. Production lines require compromise to achieve efficiency and quality targets. That's fine if those standard options suit your needs, but many times they don't. For example, should you compromise if you're a pulp and paper manufacturer and the truck you need doesn't come with a factory cab option? Should you compromise if you're a food processor that requires a non-glass alternative like Margard Lexan? Should you compromise if you're a cold storage provider struggling with employee turnover because your reach truck operators don't want to work in the freezer? There are dozens more examples like this, but the bottom line is you don't have to compromise. Customization options exist today that can be tailored specifically for your operators and your facility. You can get a cab made and perfectly fitted for that 12-year-old truck that still has 10 more years of useful life. You can find tempered, laminated, or thermoplane glass options. Or maybe you need something stronger like Lexan with 250 times the impact strength of glass. You can outfit your truck with a heat shield to protect your operators from that 500 degrees Celsius furnace. The sky is the limit. Your options are limited only by your imagination. This wraps up our video today. Thanks very much for participating. Would love to chat if you have any questions. Harris-Stolper's been in the enclosed operator cab business since the 1960s. Our team doesn't sport the mop-top haircuts anymore, but we've earned a reputation for fit, finished, and unrivaled customizability. Alternatively, for pricing-related inquiries, please reach out to your local forklift dealer, and we'll work through them to help you any way we can. Thanks for watching.